What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crowned by Kenzie. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 9, Episode 10. If I had to rate it, I'd give it about a 6.5, maybe, to a 7. The Marsoldiers versus the Melometers. But before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and hit that notification bell so that way you know when I go live or I post another video, which is real random these days. So that's the importance of being subscribed and hitting that notification bell, okay? So that way you'll know and it won't be a surprise. But before we get into the episode, let's go ahead and play this intro.
How you doing?
All right, y'all. So, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 9, Episode 10, the Marsoldiers versus the Melometers. So, for you guys who don't know what that is, that's Marcel's supporter, the Marsoldiers, and the Melometers are Melody Cherie's supporters, who people speak of like they're a little gang or something. I don't know, but they seem to be ruthless out there in the streets. So, pretty much a brief overview of the episode. Neil questions Chris about hooking up Martell and Trisha. Maurice and Melody hash out their differences. Tensions increase between Trisha, Ken, and Marquez. Sonny admits that Moses is in jail. Neil confronts Melody about discounting their relationship or their friendship. So y'all, let's get into it. So the episode somewhat picks off on the conversation, picks up off of the conversation from last week with it being revealed that Chris Fletcher is the reason the alleged hookup or whatever you want to call it between Martell and Latricia even happened. Now, if you didn't watch last week's episode, it came out pretty much that Chris Fletcher had been telling Martell about this girl, which turned out to be one of his distant cousins that I guess he didn't know or she didn't know, however have you. But he ended up hooking them up. So as this episode picks up, I'm sorry. I'm so eager to get the mail. Nell and Chris Fletcher, which are husband and wife, are out at the pizzeria having a little pizza and some conversation. So they pick up on the conversation, and pretty much, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but Chris denies hooking up Martell and Trisha. He denies knowing anything about it, so on and so forth. But my thing is the way he's telling the story. Do y'all believe him? Because there's something in me, even from last week's episode and the start of this episode where he's explaining, something about it seems a little fishy to me. It does not seem all the way true. But I guess we'll keep watching and seeing what happens. But anyway, we move on to Melody and Maurice. They kind of pick up off the conversation of last week's episode where Melody confronted Maurice about his alleged DUI. And from last week's episode, oh, hold on, before I get there, let me just remember to say this. Nell mentions that she will be attending Melody's event, which we will discuss later. But she has to find the time or the appropriate place and time to speak with Melody regarding her feeling like Mel discounted their relationship when Mel told her, or Mel stated a couple of episodes ago, that she was not her mentor. Nell Fletcher feels like she was Melody's mentor, but Melody denies that. And so that seems to have put a bad taste in Miss Nell's mouth regarding Melody, at least for the time being. But we'll get into the rest of that later in the show. So anyway, Mel meets Maurice at his Credit One offices. What is it called? Credit One? She meets him at his Credit One offices, and they pretty much sit down and discuss. Maurice wants to know why Mel came at him the way she did regarding his DWI, pretty much attacking him. and accusing him of her own beliefs of what happened on that night that he was arrested for the DUI, DWI, whichever one. And so also her going around talking to different people in their circle about it instead of just coming directly to him, which look, I get it. Because if that's your real friend and you really care that much about him and his well-being and not just wanting to blast the whole situation, you go directly to that person. So that way nobody else can come back to him and say, oh, she asked me this, she asked me that, which she did. She went to his wife, she went to his sister-in-law, she even went to the girl Trisha talking about it. So why wouldn't she go directly to him? So I get him 100% on that. So Maurice feels like the reason Melody is doing all of this is because she's unhappy or she's on some get back. Now, I ain't even gonna tell y'all no lie. When I first seen it, even throughout this whole season, I'm just gonna be honest. Melody, beautiful girl, I mean, serves every single time. But the thing is, I was feeling the same way. Now, I'm not saying what I feel is right, and I'm not saying what he feeling is right, but we kind of on the same page here. It seems like she's unhappy, and it may not be on the relationship part of her life, but I think there is some unhappiness there, and I think it may lie with her feelings about the group. She's unhappy with them. And I think when he said that, I think when Maurice said it to her in this episode, I think she took it as if he was saying in her love life or just in her everyday life. No, I don't think that's what he meant. But I get what he's saying. It seems like you're unhappy somewhere because it's really feeling like this is Mel's season to get back at everybody. That whole thing of accusing him, saying that he had lipstick on his face during his mug shot. I mean, that was way too far for that to be your friend. That was way too far. And from what I know or what I can remember, I remember Maurice really staying neutral, but really being more so on Mel's side when it came to the demise of the marriage between her and Martell. So for her to be going at him like that, I'm really not understanding because I at least out of everybody on the show, I thought Mel, Maurice, and Kimmy were the tightest. They had the stronger bond. You didn't really see too much smoke with them. So for Mel to come left field at Maurice like this, I get it. But then as we progress in the episode or in this situation, they kind of have a little back and forth with again Maurice saying that Mel may not be happy, and she's saying that Maurice has not been around her in years, so he has no idea how happy her life is or what's going on in her life. So it's unfair for him to say that. Okay, I get that, Mel. But again, like I said, it may not be that way, but the way it's playing out, it is that way. And he feels like she's pretty much still unhealed of how Martell embarrassed her on the show. And she acts like it's all, it's all good. She's not worried about it. She's not bothered, this and that and the other. And she does let him know that because these people, Maurice and everybody else, still associate themselves with Martell, she's not going to be around them like that. Because that's the person that, according to her, brings her the most problems, her ex-husband. And I get that too. So for me, I get both sides of the story. I just think certain things that Mel is doing, it's saying something different it's showing something different other than what you're saying. But they both did apologize to each other, which was really, really good. I love that part because again, it kind of seems that when it comes to Mel, if you put her by herself and you tell her how you feel by yourself, yeah, it may tend to go a little left, especially when she feels like you hitting her with jabs or whatever. But if you say it directly to her without going to everybody else around her or putting her on the spot, that's when she seems to receive it a whole lot better, which is what she should have done for Maurice. Instead of going around to everybody else and then put him on the spot at a barbecue, she should have just pulled him off to the side himself. And instead of making the accusations that she did, she should have just asked him any questions that, and Maurice seems like a very sensible guy. I mean, he's smart, um, a lawyer, does credit. He seems very, very sensible. So I feel in my mind that he would have talked that over with her and answered whatever questions he did, or whatever questions he could, because keep in mind, this is or was an open legal case. So I'm sure he would have told her as much as he could. And I do get the point that she was trying to drive, that her grandmother was killed by a drunken driver. I get that, and I sympathize with her for that. But again, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it and how you do things. And how she did that was totally wrong. So, next, Fletch, Fletcher, Marceau, they meet up at Black, what's it called? Black. I almost called the bar one. Shout out to Peter Thomas. um, hopefully they running better business better over at Black. But yeah, so Fletcher and Marceau, they meet up with Trisha's husband, baby father, Marquez. And I'm not gonna tell y'all, the more and more Marceau is on this show now, mind you, Marceau did not start off as one of my favorite people. But the more and more I see Marceau on this show, you begin to grow a love for him. Because you realize, and at first people call him messy, and he was like another one of the chicks, almost like Peter Thomas. Shout out to him. Patricia. Um, and staying in the women's business. But the more and more I watch this, you see that Marcel is just straightforward. He's straight shot, no chase. And that's just how it goes. He calls it how he sees it. And in this scene, he called Marquez as out. Like, he held his feet to the fire. Marquez, if you guys are not familiar, he claims that Trisha and her boyfriend, they started this whole relationship when he left. But no, he claims that they were sneaking because Trisha likes to work out and so does her boyfriend. They both like to work out. And he feels like they started this whole romantic affair through the Instagram messages. He put what's his name? Ken. Ken, yeah, he feels that Ken was putting like chocolate emojis under her Instagram post because she works out and he does too. They're both gym people, and so he feels like in his mind that was a part or a reason for the demise of their marriage. But at the end of the day, Negro, you left, and according to them, that's when that man stepped in. So whenever you abandon your wife and your children, I mean, it's free. She free game at that point. If they did hook up, yeah, it does not matter. You up and you abandoned your family. But he's a type, and I think he has mental health issues. I don't know that for sure, but he seems like it, in my opinion, that he has some kind of mental health issues because it's like he's a very emotional person. And the thing about it is, there's nothing wrong with the man being emotional because men should be emotional because a lot of times men are taught not to show feeling. So I'm glad that he is like that. But on the other hand, it's like he's overly emotional, and he's letting his emotions control how he's handling this situation. And so the guys call him out on that. But the one thing I do appreciate about Marceau in this moment, Marceau held his feet to the fire and he told him pretty much the only reason why you feel some type of way is because you thought with leaving, because Trisha and Marquez is too many M's in this situation. But because Trisha and Marquez were high school sweethearts, she lost her mother, she lost her father, and lost her sister, I think all around the same time or within a year or months of each other. and she depended on him and her family because again they were high school sweethearts. So he probably felt when he up and abandoned her family, just his family, just like Marcel said, she was gonna be there and she was gonna come back to him. He can go out there and do whatever he want to do, but maybe she was stupid in the past and he felt like she was still stupid and she was gonna fall back for it. But this time she didn't. She moved on, and I feel like now he can't take that. And a lot of you know, y'all don't been in that situation too, or somebody's put you in that situation where they thought that you were going to be that fall guy because you usually they're bottom, you know what I'm saying, and you're going to always be there. And maybe she was at certain times, or maybe she was for a while, but this time she was not, and she's moved on. So, sir, move the hell on. We don't want to hear it no more. This whole sad puppy face and sad story, I'm over it. I'm really tired of it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up by this season, by the reunion. I don't want to hear any more about it. It's getting old at this point, you know. But again, Marcel told the truth, and I'm telling you, I love Marcel even more. But what's funny in this situation, before I forget, this fool talking about he want to get with Melody. Have you seen her, sir? Have you watched this show? She ain't having it. She is not having it. She ain't having it whatsoever. So you can go ahead and give up on that. It's not going to happen. Melody, come on, you're a deadbeat, another man taking care of your children. She already dealing with something on her hand with her ex-husband Martell. So you think she's gonna come with you, a still married man who up and abandoned his wife and his kids, and now going around Huntsville on this emotional rant, trying to accuse these people and showing up at the child party? I mean, come on, no. No, she's not gonna get with you. And like the guys asked him, how were the kids? How did you enjoy the kids? Because when he came to that barbecue on last week's episode, let me say this. It looks like he spent no time really with his kids. He spent more time trying to get with the group and explain himself and say, I'm the father, I'm the father, I'm the father, and try to prove himself to these people who don't even know you and who really don't give a damn, if you really ask me. They don't care about you. You're just another part of the storyline. That's all. But they really don't care. But he spent most of the time trying to make Trish and Ken look bad, that he only wind up failing and making himself look like a sad, emotional, unstable fool. And that's my take on it. But again, let's wrap it up. So next, they all attend Mimosa with Mel, standing on business. Now, let me tell y'all something. Me personally, I just won't ever say that, standing on business. If I ain't tired of a phrase, I'm damn sure tired of this one. Ever since that little boy King Harris or whatever his name, T.I. son, said standing on business, everybody in the damn world want to say stand on business. And I'm tired of hearing it. He really should have been smart and copyright or trademark that phrase, because he will have so much money right now outside of his parents' money. He will have so much money because everybody in the world want to use that. Is that, did y'all just learn that? Everybody's standing on business. TV life, personal life, everybody want to be standing on business. Half of them ain't standing on. But we'll move on. So Mimosas with Mel standing on business. So y'all saw how Marcel came in there. It was hilarious. Marcel was like the drunk uncle coming in there bothering everybody. You could tell he was a little loose off the brown juice. Shout out Crown Royal. But he probably wasn't drinking Crown Royal, I'm sure. But yeah, Marcel was a little loose off the juice, but I can tell you, I was pleasantly pleased by that intro that he made because it was hilarious. But y'all know it wouldn't be Marcel without being shady. So, but we'll get into that. So, anyway, Marquez coming up to everybody's table with his emotionally unstable ass, coming up to everybody's table, talking, looking like a sad puppy, trying to talk in that little sad boy voice. And child, again, I'm over it. He goes up, try to speak to Trisha and Ken. I think Ken did greet him, but Trisha, she greeted him, you know, by shaking her hand. What do you want her to do? You want her to get up and hug you and carry on like everything is all good? This woman said that, you know, he calls her behind the scenes or texts her behind the scenes and say little smart stuff to her and threatens them and make little comments and stuff. It's just so much with him. So no, she's not going to get up and come and speak to you and act like everything is all good, because again, you just showed out at her barbecue for y'all kids. You just showed your tail and tried to make her look bad. So no, I wouldn't have nothing for you. She did better than what I would have did. Go speak to your children. Don't come speaking to me. And that's just how it goes. Their kids are teenagers. I think one of them is almost grown. And y'all, let me tell y'all something. The sad part about that barbecue, let me go back to that real quick. The sad part about that barbecue, their oldest son, because they only have 2 kids together, if I'm not mistaken. The oldest son had to come and tell the dad to chill out because he was doing way too much, going around speaking to everybody. And that's just sad. The child got to come and tell you to calm down. Child, but anyway. So he's still being desperate for Mel. And again, Mel, no. Come here. Come close, Marquez. Mel does not want you. Move on. No chance in hell. Oh, kitty. Ain't no chance. So move on. And so Marceau being messy, we moving along. Marceau being messy. First of all, this guy asked him about hooking him up with Mel. So messy in a good way, I say that. Messy Marceau brings him right on over to Mel, and they get it going. And he's talking about uh, oh, I lost my train of thought. Mm. So yeah, Marceau says to Mel, "Is this like black standing black, what did he say, black with mimosas with black or something like that?" Because he was trying to say pretty much that Mel was copying their black expo. She was copying the idea, which is hilarious. You know, it's fun shit, because one thing about Melody and Marcel, they really are like a brother and sister. They will argue and go with it, but then they will love each other right after and laugh it up. And I love that about them. But yeah, him being messy, he gonna take that sad ass boy Marquez over there. But he says, is this black mimosas with black? Hilarious. He couldn't even resist. But again, I could tell he was kind of loose off the juice a little bit. So y'all know he couldn't even resist that. So once they all get together, I want to say it's Kimmy asks, "Where is Moses?" She asks that girl Sonny that. Sonny admits that at first she was kind of like, like she didn't want to admit it, but she admitted that Moses was locked up due to some probation problems. Girl, you came on this show doing all of that and trying to make Destiny look bad and make Destiny feel bad after you don't got with her ex and you were supposed to be her friend. Now look, you stuck, man. You don't got married to a man you took from your so-called friend, went behind her back, started dating. Now he a jailbird all over again. That'll learn her. I don't feel bad for her. I do not feel bad for her or her forehead. That's what you get. You stole your friend's man. That's what you get. The people better be careful how they do things like that. You think you're doing something big by taking on what is taking somebody man, but you just don't know the problems that come behind the scene with that. And it seems like she about to find out. So round and find out. Won't feel bad for you. Let's hurry up and wrap you and him up by the end of this season. So Nell tells everybody that she's doing a 30th vow renewal for her and Fletcher. She admits she's never had a wedding. She's never had the type of wedding that she's always desired, because maybe back then when they got married, they were just getting started, or they were not financially in the place that they are now. But before she does that, um, yeah, she wants to talk to Melody. So she waits until she has her dress fitting or goes and look for her wedding gown in the next scene. And she expresses after all the loving on each other and so on and so forth. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Miss Nell looks so beautiful. She looked so beautiful in this scene, and I almost teared up a little bit because I was so happy for her because she finally gets the wedding that she always wanted. She couldn't have that in the past again, so she finally gets that. So I was so happy to see her in that moment, and know that her and Fletcher have been together for 30 years. Like that's some real love, no matter what they went through. But Melody comes and she's happy to see Melody, and she expresses to Melody how she feels regarding Melody saying that she was not her mentor. So from Ms. Nail's side, she sees it as Melody tried to play her out because she would get up out of her bed, stay over to Mel and Martell's house until the sun came up, even left her mom when her mom was sick and I guess maybe on her dying bed, she left her mom to go and sit with Melody and Martell when they were going through their relationship issues, their marriage issues when Martell was out there cheating on her. And so she feels like that is mentoring. She talked to them about their marriage and she mentored them about the things that her and Fletcher had been through and maybe how they got over it. So again, she considers herself their mentor, but she feels like for Melody to say that it was kind of like a slap in her face because of all that she had sacrificed, especially her time with her ill mother, to come and mentor them and counsel them. So she felt that was a slap on her face. And from Melody's standpoint, Melody feels that it was called being a friend. She didn't look at it as a mentor. I guess for Melody and her business mind, she looks at a mentor as being someone that you're learning like business from or something of that nature because Melody is a business minded person. So I think in her mindset, she was just looking at that as she did say it too, that you're just being a good friend to me. So for me, I see it from both sides. I feel like, yeah, Miss Neil, you can see it as being a mentor, but then again, I get it from male sides too. Me personally, I wouldn't see it as a mentor. I would just call it being a support system or being a good friend to me and my now ex-husband during our time of need. And Melody said, "Well, I feel like pretty much if you were going to be a mentor, you were definitely a mentor to him because he was the one that was doing wrong in the marriage, and that was the one that you really coming over and putting your foot in. You know what I'm saying? So I get her for saying that, but Mel, don't go too far. Play Miss Nail down. I mean, yeah, Miss Nail down. Just even though you might not feel that way, sometimes it's just best to say, okay, I understand." In which she did come in and which she did end up apologizing to Miss Nail. And I really, really love that. See, that's the kind of stuff I like. And that's what I was saying in the beginning. It seems like when you go to Melody and you talk to her one-on-one and not try to put her on the spot and embarrass her, that's when you get a better resolution with her. Because calling her out in front of people and trying to embarrass her, that's when things tend to go left. And I think that's with any of us. If you try to call me out in front of people, trust me, I'm gonna show you how to stunt if that's what you want to do. So it's best to talk to people by themselves sometimes, especially if it's somebody you care about. And again, Melody, the same grace that they gave you, try extending that same grace to the others, i.e. Maurice or anybody else that a situation may come up with. Try extending that grace to them. Don't make it seem so obvious that you want some get back and I'm gonna get everybody who made fun of my misfortune. I'm gonna get everybody. Don't even if that's what you're doing, try not to make it so obvious. But if that is what you're doing, the petty part of me, I get it. I get it. But guys, all's well that ends well with this episode. It wasn't a whole lot. Um, I just wanted to come over here and give you guys a little something. I watched the episode. Again, I'm constantly stepping my foot in these waters to see, how well I can do with this and reviewing some of my favorite reality TV shows. Now, I'm not going to review all, and I might not review every week. I'm going to try, but I may not because I do have a little life. Not a little life, but I do have a life and I do still have a job. So y'all just know. And if it's the episode that you guys want me to talk about, make sure you drop down in the comment box and let me know, or show us something you want me to review and give you my honest feedback on it. You guys can hit me up on all my socials, all are Crowned by Kenzie, KrowndByKenzie. That's on Instagram. I think I'm on Threads. I haven't really conquered that yet, but I think I am on Threads, and also Facebook, and of course my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to all of those platforms, okay? But especially here on YouTube, so that way we can let the algorithm know that I'm here, that I am here. So I want to hear what you guys think about this episode. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know how you feel, what you thought about everything going on in this episode, the Marsoldiers versus the Melometers. And Marcel did say, hence the name of the episode. Marcel did say that it was looking like the Melometers that were at the Mimosas with Melody, standing on business, that they were liking him. You saw it, like I said, how he came in there like the old drunk uncle, messing with everybody. So I mean, there is something to love about Marcel. Yeah, I think you just have to understand him and give him the opportunity. But again, let me know how you guys feel about everything in the episode. If I missed anything, let me know. Give me some honest feedback on what you think, how this should be going, what I can do better in. Hey, I'm always open to reading your comments and taking your feedback. I'm not that type of person. I'm looking to grow on this thing, on this platform, and expand beyond my wildest dreams. So I definitely love and want to hear what the people have to say and any honest critiquing that you may have. Now, don't come over here with no mean shit, because, excuse me, don't come over here with that now, because now I know how to get with you. But hopefully we won't get to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, subscribe, like, comment, and hit that notification bell so that way you know when we go live or we post another video. You guys have a wonderful evening. And thank you for watching Crowned by Kenzie. Take care of yourselves and each other.
How you doing?